And we're at Firelink Shrine.
Yep, which will be kind of our central hub going forward for at least a decent chunk of the game.
Yep. It is the Peach's Castle of Dark Souls.
Well, what do we have here? You must be a new arrival. Let me guess. Fate of the undead, right? Well, you're not the first. But there's no salvation here. You'd have done better to rot in the undead asylum. But too late now. Well, since you're here, let me help you out. There are, actually, 2 bells of awakening. One's up above in the undead church. The other is far, far below, in the ruins at the base of Blight Town. Ring them both, and something happens. Brilliant, right? Not much to go on, but I have a feeling that won't stop you. So, off you go. It is why you came, isn't it? To this accursed land of the undead? Ah, your face. You're practically hollow. But who knows? Going hollow could solve quite a bit. What? Restoring your humanity? Well, there are a few ways to go about it. Collected bit by bit from corpses. Or you can butter up a cleric and get yourself summoned. And the quickest way, although I'd never do it, is to kill a healthy undead and pillage its humanity. Coveting thy neighbor is only human, after all. What are you looking at? Don't try anything clever. You might regret it.
Yeah, no, I think attacking you would probably be a bad idea for me at the moment, so...
What? You want to hear more? Oh, that's all we need. Another inquisitive soul. Well, listen carefully then. One of the bells is up above in the undead church, but the lift is broken. You'll have to climb the stairs up the ruins and access the undead burg through the waterway. The other bell is back down below the undead burg, within the plague-infested Blight Town. But I'd die again before I step foot in that cesspool.
Yeah, don't blame you there, to be honest. Not a part that I'm looking forward to.
Bloody hell, what is it now? You ask too many questions. What now? I'm not up for chatting. Leave me alone.
I think he's done talking for the time being. But yeah, even for some reason that night that helped us out in the Undead Asylum didn't know that there were 2 bells. Which seems a bit odd considering how specific his saying was otherwise. And she cannot speak, but she can reinforce Estus flasks if we get Firekeeper souls. And if we go down here, at the very least the first part of this area is pretty safe. We haven't gone very far in it yet. Minor interruption dealt with. So, yeah, this first initial area down here is perfectly safe. Just
a lot of crazy people
and
that have gone hollow, just chilling.
This one guy over here that just
Yeah, he's taking
Looks
a
like he's
nap.
chilling on a beach, but is looking out over
Whereas
this.
the other ones are all praying or gouging out at their eyes and or flailing around like.
And
Yeah.
then this guy.
You haven't lost your head. And more importantly, you're free. How on earth? Well, I shouldn't pry. I'm Rickett of Vinine. Although, I was once an established smith. Look at me now. Can you believe it? What is it? Have you? Oh no. Don't worry. I've no intention of escape. It's safe here. Can't bear the thought of going hollow out there. Although, I must admit, I've not much to occupy myself. How about this? I could forge your weapons, albeit with rather minimal tools. I'll show you what made me the best in Vinine.
I mean, dude, there's like a lift to a much nicer looking location about 10 feet from your cell. I'm sure you could make it that far, but if you feel better in there, you feel better in there, I guess. So he can repair stuff. He can also reinforce weapons and modify equipment. At least for certain modifications. I think we would need to upgrade our weapons to +5 before we could do that, but I think he starts out being able to modify your equipment to magic weapons, which might end up being useful for us. We'll see. However, more importantly, we don't need the catalyst. We start with one, but we could get another copy of soul arrows and later heavy soul arrows. For now, we have enough for the soul arrows, so those are coming with.
What is it? There's nothing to talk about. We're both cursed, undead. But what's there really to moan about?
I mean, we get to come back every time we die, so that's nice.
What is it? There's nothing to talk about. We're both cursed.
Okay, so that's all he's going to say for the time being.
Yep, he's out of dialogue.
Your head on her. You really helped break the monotony.
But yeah, I actually found him pretty much immediately when we started the first run, so that was nice. However, as far as other places that are down here, there's not too much that we can do right now. It's stuttering a little bit, I think, because it's trying to load a few different places. Because this is kind of a junction.
Yeah, get that item.
Soul of a Nameless Soldier. And then, yeah, that leads back up. But this other... just going to drop here. Might lose a tiny bit of health. Don't think I even lost that. But if you go through this other tower... Now, we cannot go this way because we don't have the master key or whatever key is normally supposed to open this. I think you find that key like at the very end of Blighttown. But that's the Valley of the Drakes that we're looking at out there. And then like across that rickety bridge, there's like a path that would lead us into Blighttown. That's about as far as I got. And then if we go down this way, past these guys, we can get a couple of transient curses. I think they're consumables. Transient curse. Limb of the victim of a curse. Temporary curse allows engagement with ghosts. The only way to fight back against ghosts who are cursed beings is to become cursed oneself. The safest method, however dreadful, is to cut off an arm of the dead. So yeah, I've gathered from that you need to use those to fight ghosts that are presumably further in this area. But I've not tried it yet, and I assume that you either have to get more transient curses further in this area, or maybe the ghosts have a chance of dropping them. There's the stock. But, or maybe there are certain weapons that are just innately cursed. I don't know. but I don't have like a good consistent way of fighting them. I only have a couple of those transient curses right now. I know there's a merchant in like the lower undead burg that sells them for a fair chunk of souls. So as far as I know for now, that's the only way to get more of them. So I just haven't wanted to deal with this area yet. Other than talking to the smith. Or cutting through that shortcut once it's open. So back up to Firelink for now. We can, because yeah, we have 3 attunement slots already. We can attune this other set of soul arrows, which now brings us to 60 soul arrows every time we rest. That'll be nice. Now, there's some other stuff just sort of around Firelink that we can potentially get, I think. Just sort of looking around, because I don't remember where everything was. I don't even know if I found everything to begin with, but yeah, there's some fire bombs over here. I have actually not tried fire bombs at all yet. There's that guy who's going to want some souls when we talk to him. The amount has varied each time, so I think it might be based on your character level. In which case, I think he'd want... We're soul level 3, right?
Yes.
Oh,
So he might want 300.
300 would be my guess.
That'd be my best guess as well.
So, I don't know. Maybe we'll pick up just a handful more souls and then
Then
talk to him. Yeah, we can come out here. And there's stuff. Homeward Bone. The Morning Star, which I don't know if that's going to be something we can even use. I admit it was kind of nice earlier because it's one of the first weapons that I found that has the bleed effect, which is really nice, but we picked up some different stuff there, so let's see. The Cracked Red Eye Orb. Online play item, invade another world. Defeat the master of the world you have invaded to acquire humanity. The Cracked Red Eye Orb allows players to temporarily imitate this ability, normally limited to the Dark Wraiths of Koth. So yeah, not a thing that's really usable anymore. Fire bombs. Bisque urn filled with black powder. Explodes, inflicting fire damage. Relatively powerful ranged weapon, especially in situations calling for fire damage. A very precious item at low levels. Many warriors use these to augment their strategic repertoire. Homeward Bone. Bone fragment reduced to white ash. Return to last bonfire used for resting. Bonfires are fueled by bones of the undead. In rare cases, the strong urge of their previous owners to seek bonfires enchants their bones with a homeward instinct. Soul of a Nameless Soldier. Soul of a nameless undead soldier who has long ago gone hollow, used to acquire souls. Souls are the source of all life, and whether undead or even hollow, one continues to seek them. So you can use these to get souls, and then humanity would let you obviously get humanity, but once you've used them, they go into either your humanity pool or your soul pool, respectively, and you can lose them at that point. Whereas when I die, I don't lose these items. So what I've learned is only use these if you intend to immediately spend them in most cases, or I guess humanity does increase your item discovery, so if you're really trying to get an item drop, maybe. Humanity. Rare, tiny black sprite found on corpses. Use 1 humanity and to gain 1 humanity and restore a large amount of HP. This black sprite is called humanity, but little is known about its true nature. If the soul is the source of all life, then what distinguishes the humanity we hold within ourselves? So that's all the items that I've found so far. The big pilgrim's key. Key to the inner door of the Undead Asylum main hall, belonging to the chosen undead pilgrim. But this chosen undead knows not what this pilgrimage has in store. And then, yeah, just different keys for the Undead Asylums. All I have as far as that goes right now. And then the Stock in the Morning Star. And we also picked up a talisman. which you need 10 faith to even try to use the talisman, and I think even like the simplest miracles require either 10 or 12 in faith, so probably not something we're going to bother with, considering that a lot of the offensive miracles, like the various lightning spears, seemed to be locked behind covenants. They were covenants that were co-op focused, so if the online were still a thing, it's something that I might actually be willing to do. I'm a lot more willing to do co-op than to invade, but it's just not a thing that could really be accomplished, at least not without maybe using that online mod at this point. So I just don't want to deal with that right now. But the Astok and the Morning Star. So the Astok would need 10 strength for me to use it, which we wanted to get anyway. And it scales a little bit on strength, but scales better on dex. One of the largest thrusting swords can pierce an armored knight in one thrust. The blade is also sharp, allowing slicing as well. And then the Morning Star would require 11 strength to use. So, I mean, it's not a crazy investment. Its main thing... Apparently, the attack type is wrong. At least according to what I saw on the wiki earlier. It doesn't actually do thrust damage. It's whatever this game calls blunt damage. However, it does cause bleed. It can proc bleed, and it's one of the first weapons you find that can do that. And I found that to be incredibly useful in some situations. But there are going to be other weapons later. In fact, I think a lot of the things that can cause bleed are primarily dex weapons. Although I could be wrong on that. So it's not something we would absolutely need to get. I do think going up to 10 strength, like, I know I'm going to want that for the spider shield, though. So using the Astok is definitely an option. And then dagger, which we never actually looked at. This standard small dagger has only a modest attack, but can be jabbed in rapid succession and is effective in critical hits, such as after a parry or when stabbing in the back. With both slash and thrust attacks, this dagger is useful in various situations. And obviously scales almost entirely off of dex and requires next to no strength to use. And Lloyd's Talisman, which I think prevents Estus recovery, which isn't a thing in most situations in single player. Maybe there's other, like, I know some enemies will use Estus flasks, mostly like the hollows that you fight in the Undead Burg. I haven't run into anything else really that does it. Talisman utilized by Allfather Lloyd's Cleric Knights to hunt down the undead. Blocks Estus recovery within a limited area. In the outside world, the undead are accursed creatures, and Lloyd's Cleric Knights are widely praised for their undead hunts. This blessed talisman blocks undead recovery, allowing the knights to fight with impunity. So apparently there are undead hunts in the outside world. That's great. So I was lucky to simply be tossed in an asylum. Call that luck. And then drop down here. And hi, skeletons. We're going to be looting this graveyard. Yep. Okay. Yeah, fire was definitely more effective against these guys. Okay, nope, you're coming around. Yeah, that's the other point where the Morning Star could be useful. Early on would be it allows you to actually do blunt damage against these things. So it would give me some more options here because I want to get past at least some of these skeletons. Okay, Solaire got screwed up by the drop. It would allow me to fight these guys a little better so that I could loot the graveyard because there's some items in the graveyard that might be useful for me. Because that took about 9 soul arrows per skeleton, though I did miss a couple times. Alright. And the big ones are going to be just about impossible with soul arrows for now, unless either I get my intelligence better so the soul arrow's doing more, or I get heavy soul arrows, or of course I can wait until I have access to pyromancies, or I just get access to a weapon that deals with them a bit better. Now there's a couple more skeletons there. I think maybe I can slip up and get this though. Heart Soul of the Lost Undead. And yep, more skeletons there if I want to grab that. Yep, okay, round shield. Run past these guys. Soul Lost Undead. Roll. And I am just going to go back to Firelink and rest. And I'll get past those first two initial ones again instead of having these four on my tail, because I don't think I'll have any reason to alert those two groups again. But if we're right about the number of souls that we need, we should actually have enough to talk to this guy now. And if we don't, we don't. It's not like he said anything all that important.
I believe we are not.
I just don't know if it leads to anything later.
Have you business with us? If not, I prefer to keep a distance, if possible. Hello there. I realize that I have requested that we retain our distance, but I also want you to know that it is not meant in ill will. Here, take this, as a token of peace. No, go ahead. It's for you.
Copper coin?
Oh my, you again. Oh, I know. How about this? I have to await my companions here anyway. So what if I were to teach you some miracles? Would that please you?
Yeah, sure.
Very well. Then first, a covenant with the gods.
And yeah, I can join this covenant. It doesn't really matter. I don't have any covenant at all right now.
Now let me share my miracles. Only their ultimate effectiveness will be determined by your efforts and your faith.
I'd rather have potential access to these than not, even though I don't think I'm super likely to use any of them. Simply because a lot of the miracles that I know are available later, again, seem to require you to be in a covenant in order to get them. So... And it's not even this covenant. There are like two other faith-based covenants that I believe both required online play in order to rank up in. There are probably ways around that, but I don't know them. For some reason, I had to learn how to shrug. Okay, game.
My companions are Milady and her young knights. She is young, but burdened by an undead mission.
And rude.
Her defenses to keep her from harm. An undead mission? Regrettably, I cannot share that with you. But you are my pupil. Perhaps if you show your faith.
Yep, it's based on your soul level. It must be like 100 times your soul level would be my assumption then, because it's been a little bit different each time.
Very well. I can surely tell you, of all people, undead clerics are given a mission to seek kindling. Kindling is the art of feeding bonfires with humanity. Through kindling, we shall one day be granted magnificent powers.
Okay.
Come again. The effectiveness of the teachings depend upon your faith.
Back to trying to fight the skeletons so I can get more items in that graveyard. The fireballs definitely made this easier. But yeah, I shouldn't have to alert those ones again, because that's the only item that they were near. So I should just have to fight these two. then we can get further in. Really? The soul arrows do stagger them at least, so if I can keep interrupting them. Really? Sometimes, apparently, if you try to fire when an enemy's really close, it can just sort of go right by them, which is not great. Okay, nope, I didn't want to drop down, but I guess I am. Come on, quit blocking. There. Yeah, may as well use an Estus Flask. I'm not planning on going that far, so I don't have to ration them all that much. See, I got that item. Don't need to alert them again. Yep, that just leads back down to where they were. And now those two are up. Alright. Fighting these guys with the dagger is not going to be real fun, and it's probably what I'm going to have to resort to. Because I doubt I have enough soul arrows once I get past these two. Game, I really don't need to be looking at the crow. Thank you. Okay, are you just kind of stuck? Okay, now you figured it out.
Yeah, I don't like that whiffs like that if they're a little too close. But
well, it seems like if they're a little too close, and especially if they're a bit below me, which is a problem when you're on stairs. Now we can check just a little bit of this portion. Okay, no items over there. There's definitely an item there, but that's a lot of skeletons. Like, we alert that lot, and we're just basically going to be running and trying to pick up items because there's no way I can take out all of them with just soul arrows.
Your cast speed's just not fast enough.
Honestly, it's not just cast speed. It's the fact that I simply do not have enough soul arrows.
Oh, that
I think
too.
I have enough to deal with one
You
more
have 16
skeleton,
left.
2 if I did it perfectly. Okay, let's just wake up the big guy. Grab the spear. That's what I wanted.
I mean, once you get to where you have melee as a
As an
viable option,
yeah.
it'll
All
be
right.
good.
Well, I don't even have that many souls to lose, nor do I have humanity to lose. So
run. Grab.
Okay, not going to be able to use that, but screw it. We have it. Oh, one of you rolled. And the binoculars.
Proving once again that they are. Why would you pick that as your starting gift?
Yep, there we go. I tried to shove my way past them and got hung up on either the 2 little skeletons or the gravestone, not sure which. Not really all that important, though. I'm not even going to bother going back for those souls. It's not enough, even at this early stage, to be worried about. Don't know if that's everything in the graveyard, but the winged spear was the thing that I kind of wanted to at least take a look at. So it would require 13 strength to use it. Does have decent scaling off of dex, but it's an option. I think if I wanted to get up to 13, then I know some things require 14 later. So it's like, do I want to stop at 10 strength or do I want to go up to 14 or not? Which, of course, would also allow me to use the Morning Star in situations that call for it. However, that's all a ways down the line, and we may as well just go this way for now. Okay, much more effective against those guys. Good to know. And there's the guy chucking fire bombs. Yeah, you know, I'm going to take care of the guy with the fire bombs before I go trying to get items. Okay, now you. Now, he is unfortunately not going to show his back. However, he was happy to just keep tossing his fire bombs into a wall. That works for me. Okay, so if they block, they can survive a soul arrow. Good to know. Okay, seriously, how did I get caught by that? Because there was a wall behind me and thus nowhere to roll. Alright, let's go get some of the items that were down here. Roll off the other end of the bridge. Or aqueduct, or whatever this is. Ring of Sacrifice. And you know, despite having those and like Homeward Bones and stuff, I never think to actually use them when I'm in trouble. Let's take a look and see what it's decided to automatically put. Get these off of the bar, and then what might actually be useful. Yeah, so far really just the Homeward Bones in case I get in a nasty spot, and maybe the fire bombs. I've not tried them yet, and wouldn't feel too bad for just if I accidentally wasted them. There's the rat. Dead. Occasionally, if you're very, very lucky, the rat will actually drop a humanity sprite that you can just pick up and take with you. Which, so far at least, has been the only way I've found to reliably farm humanity. Sometimes you randomly get it when you're fighting, but after a while, or maybe when you kill the boss in an area, or meet some other condition that the game hasn't explained, you eventually just stop getting humanity for killing enemies in a given area, so you can't really rely on that for very long.
Welcome to the Undead Burg.
Okay, come on, backstab. Or not. Okay, let's go for the guy that doesn't have a shield. Okay. Since you were taking your sweet time. else in here? That is death. Stuff down there, though. Large soul of the lost undead. Here. Okay, I heard. Yep, things coming in behind me. Yep, now I'm kind of in a corner. Let's take care of that problem because I don't have a good shield yet. So if they just get me in a corner, I don't have any real defensive options. And rubbish. Thank you, game. That item. It's over in this building. Apparently something fell to its death somewhere. Yep, okay, through here. Another soul of a lost undead. And that stairway is just blocked. And apparently, one of you guys has just been trying to get to me. I'm not sure where you initially were.
He's just been following you extremely slowly. Apparently just off camera, though. Fog door. Yeah, that's a little trippy, though. And stuff. And it is worth destroying all the barrels and stuff because there is stuff.
Sometimes
in
they
this
hide
region.
things underneath barrels and whatnot, so
Yeah. Or inside.
Can't quite make that jump.
Nope. Well, that was a dragon.
Yep, that's still scary.
Because it's a dragon, yes. They're.
Okay.
I can't think of too many settings where they aren't terrifying.
Oddly enough, Skyrim, if you don't mod it anyway.
Yeah, you gotta mod it so that they're actually dangerous.
It's like, come on, guys. These are literally the main plot device of your game. Make them scary.
Yeah.
If I even hit you when you're blocking at that point. And of course, your friend managed to get an arrow on me while I was trying to deal with that. Wooden shield. That's probably at least better than what I'm currently using, so we'll take a look at that in a minute. Just nope. Jeez, I don't even have enough stamina to take you out in one flurry. Definitely gonna have to fix that. Okay, let's stop off at the bonfire before we go any further.